You like birth charts and zodiac signs, and now you've recently learned about something called Vedic Astrology. So now you want to learn more about it, and you want to see what makes it so different to the more commonly known Western sun sign astrology, and what makes it so unique. Hi, my name is Elena. I'm a Vedic astrologer. If you're interested in zodiac signs, compatibility, astrology, karma, predictions, and transits, be sure to subscribe to my channel. In this video, I will talk about some of the unique features that Vedic astrology offers that make it such a great tool for predicting major life events, as well as understanding the full potential of a person's life. If you studied Western astrology before, some of these features will be completely new to you because there are no analogs in Western astrology for them. If you're completely new to birth charts and astrology, then be sure to check out my video about the main differences between Western and Vedic astrology to get you started. So, what are these unique features? Number one, Nakshatras. In addition to the 12 zodiac signs, Vedic astrology considers the positions of planets in these constellations called Nakshatras. There's 27 of them along the celestial sphere, and one nakshatra takes up the space that is roughly equal 13 degrees 20 minutes of the sphere. Together, the 27 nakshatras make up the full 360 degrees of the celestial sphere, and this also means that one zodiac sign coincides to roughly 2 and some nakshatras. So what makes nakshatras so interesting? They offer additional insight, some psychological depth, and even specific scenarios for how a planet can manifest in a person's life. Let's look at an example of that. You may have noticed that some people with planetary placements in Cancer are very homey, they like to take care of other people, they like to feed others, they're very sweet by nature and very loving and caring. While some of the other Cancer natives are a lot more shrewd, secretive, sometimes even manipulative, but nonetheless very wise. What makes such a difference? And the answer here is nakshatras, because people in the first example are likely going to have placements in the Pushya nakshatra of Cancer, whereas the second group likely will have placements in Ashlesha constellation of Cancer. Nakshatras are particularly useful to understand a person's psychology, hidden motives, and even specific scenarios that somebody can live through in their lifetimes. For example, somebody who has a placement of Venus or Moon in Mrigashira might have secret admirers, or somebody who's born with a moon in Hasta might be exceptionally talented with their hands. Number two, yogas. If you've ever wondered why some people go on to live such extraordinary lives, having achieved great status or success or enjoying great wealth in their lives, the answer here is yogas. Yogas in Vedic astrology do not refer to asanas or physical exercise, which is what we normally think about when we talk about yoga. Instead, a yoga is a conjunction, connection, or interaction of two planets in the birth chart. They get formed in several different ways, either being placed in a specific house or having specific relationship to one another in the birth chart, maybe exchanging signs, or going to a specific sign and a specific house. These are the unique combinations in the person's chart that show potential for future results, positive and negative. These planetary interactions can show a very wide variety of scenarios. They can show how somebody can become extremely wealthy, or how somebody might have a talent for musical or literary arts. They might show somebody who's inclined to study and devote their life to academics or spiritual pursuits, just like they can also show that somebody might not have a lot of wealth or enjoy great success in life, or even might be prone to a chronic illness. Here are a couple of examples. An American singer-songwriter, Taylor Swift, skyrocketed to phenomenal stardom and international popularity. Her chart features combinations of extreme popularity and creative wealth. Or think about Margaret Thatcher, whose chart features a yoga that is said to make somebody the leader of their village, meaning they possess strong leadership abilities, exceptional discipline, and ability to command authority. Now this would be putting the Iron Lady's talents very mildly. Vedic astrology has thousands of yogas, and it is nearly impossible to remember all of them. However, a well-trained astrologer should be able to spot the most common yogas in the birth chart very easily, judge their strength and understand their potential, the results that they will give, and how they will manifest in a person's life, because it is essential to read the birth chart using yogas. Otherwise, we simply can't make an effective prediction about what sort of results a person might enjoy in their life. Number three, Divisional charts. Now, this one is for you if you're skeptical about astrology. Have you ever wondered why do twins who are born at the same day at the same time go on to live such different lives? And wouldn't you argue that this argument destroys the basis for astrology? Well, the big part of the answer here is divisional charts. Now, these are a set of 16 charts specific to different areas of life, like marriage, children, career, siblings, travel, so on and so forth. They are extremely sensitive to time of birth, and sometimes they change every so often as just 1 minute, which means that even the twins who are born on the same day at the same time will still have a few minutes apart in their time of birth. This will cause some of the divisional charts to shift and look completely differently. The differences between some of these divisional charts, even if not all of them, are going to color in the differences of the twins' lives. This is also one of the main reasons why we use divisional charts so heavily when predicting event timing, because having an accurate set of divisional charts will allow to really understand the karma that is associated with each of the areas of lives and the timing of the events that can come to fruition. The best way to think about divisional charts is to think about a PowerPoint presentation or a report. Now, in that way, the birth chart that astrologers look at is kind of like an executive summary that has some of the major themes of your life highlighted in it. However, in order to fully understand the potential of each of the life areas, you need to study the divisional charts. In this example, the divisional charts will correspond with the different sections of the report that each focus on a specific area, like marriage, children, property, or career. So you see how in this way, two twins or even two people who are born very close to one another will share some of the general broader strokes of life. However, the specific details and timing of events in their life will likely be very different. These differences can be studied with the divisional charts. Number 4, planetary period systems. Okay, by this point, you're probably wondering, all of this is great, but how do I know when? When will the events of my life happen? When will I get married? When will I buy property? When will I have children, move to a different country, and so on and so forth? Now, these types of questions we can only answer using the planetary period systems, or as they're referred to in Jyotish, Dashas systems. Your birth chart has information about your lifelong experience, but not all of it, meaning not all of your life events, are happening at the same time. They happen in a sort of sequence, and what that sequence is defined by the planetary periods or Dasha systems. Dasha systems define your life experience at a point in time, and they show when an event might or might not happen. Each of us is currently running a planetary period, and it is ruled by 1 out of the 9 planets that we study in Jyotish. Now, the placement, nature, and the condition of the planet will reveal what are some of the possible results of that planetary period and what events might happen for you in your life. Like so, when you run a Venus period or a period of a planet that is very closely related to the 7th house, you might get married. If you run in Jupiter or a period of a planet that is closely tied to the 5th house, then you might be able to have a child. Of course, it's not as simple as that, and you have to study the entire chart to be able to accurately predict the timing of the event, but that is the general idea. This also explains why some people can rise to fame or do really well for a time and then disappear from public view. Or on the contrary, let's say you're working really hard to build a business or achieve something that you weren't able to do before, and all of a sudden it goes off with a bang and you've achieved phenomenal success. Likely the reason here is the planetary periods have shifted, allowing certain possibilities to come your way. These dasha or planetary period systems are the main component to building a successful prediction. You need to know how to predict with at least 3 or 4 planetary period systems in order to accurately time the event. Now, the planetary transits, which are popular in Western astrology, are also used in Vedic astrology. Planetary transits, of course, bring events and help make them happen, but they mostly act as decorations to the planetary period that you're currently living. And without the planetary period itself, it is impossible to make a prediction just looking at transits. Number 5, the Law of Karma and Reincarnation. Have you ever wondered, why do some people get so lucky and they're born into generational wealth where they barely have to lift a finger and life just gives everything to them on a silver platter? In the meantime, others have to struggle and start from the bottom and spend decades of their life to make it? Well, Vedic astrology explains this using the law of karma and reincarnation. This is one of the most important philosophical principles that guide Vedic astrology, and it can be best understood with saying, you reap what you sow, or actions have consequences. Now, it's important to understand that this doesn't just refer to this life's action, but more specifically to your past life's action, because your birth chart offers a picture of some of your past life's actions that you're ready to experience consequences for in this life. This suggests several important points about understanding the birth chart. Firstly, many things that you will experience in life are conditioned by the past actions you took. Second, the birth chart doesn't just show the way the planets influence us because we happen to be born on a specific day. In this way, planets are simply agents where their position in the sky at the time that you were born is in perfect harmony to your individual karma. The important point to understand here is that it's not that the planets influence us to be a certain way, it's that they simply show how we've been before and what we're likely going to be in this life. Third, it implies that the experiences that we go through are directly tied to our past actions in this or in the past lives. Things don't just happen to us, but rather we're experiencing the results of our own past actions. With this view, blaming planets for your imperfections becomes very difficult. And lastly, contrary to the popular belief, this does not suggest that you have no control over your life. Quite the opposite, in fact. It means that the actions that you take today will define your quality of life in this and future lives. In short, karma and the birth chart simply help understand your factory settings and possibilities within your reach, where free will and the choices that you make actually shape your life. This rounds up the 5 most unique features about Vedic astrology. Although it is less popular than Western astrology, it obviously has a large toolkit to be able to accurately predict and time the events in the person's life, as well as to understand their life potential and specific scenarios that they might live through. I will say that Vedic astrology is not as advanced as Western astrology and really be able to merge the astrological concepts with the popular psychology or having a really good read into their own inner world. However, the knowledge of Vedic astrology in the hands of a right practitioner can absolutely combine with these more popular psychology narratives. So if you're looking to start learning astrology and you want to be able to accurately predict the timing of events, as well as really understand the person's potential in this life, then Vedic astrology might just be the tool for you. I offer personalized birth chart readings as well as one-on-one tuition in Vedic astrology, and you can find the information about it in the linked content in the description to this video. If you like this video and are interested in zodiac signs, astrology, planets, transits, karma, spirituality, do subscribe to my channel and remember to give this video a thumbs up.